What's up, guys? We got a banger here today. What do you get when you mix betrayal, arrogance, and delusion? This woman we're going to talk about today. We're going to dive into this story here. It's a little on the long side. I've sped it up to hopefully shorten it down, but let's get into it.
I'm cheating on my husband, and I finally have the balls to tell the world. I told him, and of course, he didn't handle it how we would want him to handle it. But I mean, it's what he is expected to do. But it all started. So I started having a friendship with this particular person, and it's actually a friend of my husband as well. And we just have been hanging out around him a lot lately. We started out with just simple conversation, like we were friends, but we ended up kind of pushing it past that a little. Not a little. I'll get into how far. But we ended up kind of like secretly seeing each other, trying to find ways to see each other, and doing that behind my husband's back.
We're going to make a drinking game. Every time she says but, everybody's got to take a drink. But, and here I go. I got my butt. Here she says she's cheating on her husband and finally has the balls to tell the world. This translates out to she's proud of her own destruction. I mean, she admits to sneaking around with her husband's friend and calls it just conversations before escalating. And here's the kicker. She sounds like she expects a medal for admitting it. Lady, you didn't grow balls. You dropped your morals.
Okay, so this is part 3. So now that the building the connection part has passed, we ended up starting to do stuff secretly when my husband and I would go over to his house. And whenever we would go over there, I would try to go over there more, obviously, because I really wanted to see him. And I did feel bad for my husband. It was sad to know what I was doing, knowing that he really loves me the way he does, but I really did not care. I still wanted to always go around this other guy. I think the reason was because I couldn't believe that there was someone else besides my husband that I really am emotionally attached to now. So this is a big deal for me, at least. And this is all part of the conversation that I had with my husband. So anyways, we have been going around to his house a lot more often. He also has a daughter, so we bring our children over there. And the last time we went over there is when it really hit the fan. So a lot of weird stuff started happening. And I started getting really scared because my husband was doing a lot of acting suspicious. Like, he was looking through stuff, and I got nervous. I got nervous because I knew and I had a feeling that this guy was saving all of my love letters. So I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope he does not have my love letters around here somewhere. Because, oh my gosh, if my husband finds them, I would be heartbroken for him.
I think we'll add an in there as well. So anytime she says but or take a drink. As she puts it, so I felt bad for my husband, but I didn't care. And right there, that is the moral compass of a stormtrooper. She justifies her emotional fare because somebody else gave her attention. And yet she's dragging her kids into this circus. And here's a tip for you, lady. If you don't care about your husband, at least care about the mess you're leaving for your kids.
Okay. So now the bedroom search. So we are at my, I guess, lovers will call him. That is so wrong, but we're at my lover's house, and my husband started to, like I said, kind of just look around a lot. So he was looking through the stuff that was on his desk, and he had a dresser. His room was really big, so we would sit on the couch in there and stuff like that. And his daughter's room was around the corner. But anyways, we were in there, and my husband was looking through at trophies and papers and stuff. Anyways, he had my straw-like letters. He had them posted up on the shelf inside of his room, and for some reason, I don't know why, of course, but my husband ended up grabbing the stack of them. It looked like sage, basically, when you have the sticks and stuff. It was thin straw like that. So my husband ended up grabbing them and became suspicious. I'm like, oh my gosh, what are these? This is weird, wrapped up paper. I wonder what this is. So I'm looking because I know what they are. I'm on the bed, kind of like this, and I'm just, looking at my husband in front of me with these papers in his hand. And I'm getting super nervous because I'm like, oh my God, he's going to look at these letters, and he knows how I write. He knows how I talk. So I started getting really nervous. My heart is pounding even thinking about it.
Of course, we're going to have lots of questions here. It's what are they doing in his bedroom? I mean, that's what it sounds like. At this point, we're not going to know. There's more stuff later on. I mean, there's plenty of content here that I'll have for other videos. But she's talking about her husband's going through the stuff. She gets nervous, and the guy was keeping her love letters. And it's like, love letters? Seriously? I mean, is this medieval times? She's nervous because she might get caught. But here's an idea. If you're writing love letters to someone who's not your spouse and you don't want to get caught, not that I would ever advocate cheating. It's wrong on so many levels. Leave your person before being with somebody else. Easy as that. The tip is don't store them at the house like they're trophies, I guess. I think there's a lot of it. She wanted to get caught, or there's that thrill of maybe getting caught. You know how people can kind of get that high. People like to go do it in public. There's that fear of getting caught or that possibility of getting caught, and it gives them that extra rush. That's kind of what I think she's chasing after, besides another dude.
So while he's holding these letters in his hand, I'm like kicking him, like, hey, what are you doing? Why are you going through this guy's stuff? And he's like, this is one of my best friends. So, this is weird. Like, don't you think it's weird? What the hell? I'm sorry, what the heck? So I'm like, no, that's not weird. Like, don't go through his stuff. That's personal. This is our friend. Why are you doing that? Anyways, he didn't give a shit. They're friends. So he ended up, unrolling one of the papers. Heart, like I said, is super pounding. The whole time that he is doing this, the guy is in another room, wrapped in a towel because I just came out of there. And I'm nervous for him because I know my husband's temper. And I know that this is it. I knew this was it. I knew that my husband was going to put the two and two together. I was so shocked that not only was I that freaking dumb, but this guy was. Like, why are you saving these letters? Who in their right mind knows what we're doing? Mind you, this is his friend. I am his wife. Why are you saving letters from me?
Good God, you can't make this shit up. Just kicking him like, why are you going through his stuff? And this dude is his best friend. This dude is a fucking asshole. That is not a friend. A best friend would be like, dude, your wife is hitting on me. That's what a best friend would be doing. A best friend doesn't turn around and starts chasing after your wife. I mean, she's here trying to protect her lover's privacy while her husband's standing there holding literal evidence of betrayal in his hand, but hasn't quite figured it out yet. And the next question is, why in the hell is the lover in a towel in the other room that she just came from? Well, we know why. I bet she went over there, gave him a quick handy or something. I mean, this is like a bad soap opera, except there's no scriptwriter to make this chick likable.
Now, my husband is reading the letters. He's reading them. And they're not like long love letters like back in the day where you wrote like 4-page letters. Shout out to Leah. So it was like really probably about 2 paragraphs. Front page, super small, like small notebook paper. So they're like not too long. He probably took about a minute and a half to read each letter. I think he read about 2 or 3. When he was reading them, like I said, I was losing it. Who wouldn't, right? Their husband is reading love letters that his wife wrote to another man that she's falling in love with, and that person just happens to be his friend. Might I add, his friend that I frequently want to hang out with because of his daughter. That's kind of the excuse that we like to use. Plus, he had a really beautiful house. Like, we just love being over there because it was a nice house. He was a little more well off. Not a little more. He was very well off. So my husband's heart dropped. I can see the pain and how he felt. And he just looked at me. And I looked at him and kind of just dropped back like this. And that's when all hell broke loose.
Well, of course, she was chasing after the other guy because he was very well off. She had to make sure she told us that he was very well off money. So she's chasing up. Basically, she puts it, husband's reading the letter, and she could see the pain in his face. It's like any guy that's been through that knows exactly what that look, that feeling, all of that is. It's like, congratulations, ma'am. You officially crushed the soul of one person who actually loved you. Your black pit soul and dark heart that you have. But at least your lover's got a nice big house, right? And you're using your kids to go over and see each other and go do the wild thing. Guess you got your priorities in order.
So now my husband knows. He asked me clearly, is this you? Did you write these letters? He asked me for my phone as well. So of course, like I said, I'm deleting the messages and I'm going like into like every part of my phone that I can to make sure that I delete like even the recently deleted. However, if he kept the letters, this guy, right? Who's not to say he didn't keep the text messages, right? Like I said, if you know that this is something that you're doing that's wrong, why hold evidence? What does holding evidence do for you? I think he was, like I said, I was falling in love. I was getting emotionally attached. But I think for him, it was more like, I don't know if he kept them to throw in my husband's face. I don't know if he kept them because he was also feeling the same. So, like, this was all he had to hold on to because he knew that I was married. And I mean, I wasn't planning at that time to get a divorce. I knew eventually it was coming because, like I said, I didn't think that I would feel this way for somebody else besides my husband. But, it was eventually going to hit the fan and we were going to lead to the negative side of marriage and the ending part. So, of course, my husband also asks Guy to see his phone. Wow.
See, guys, a woman is going to check out mentally, emotionally from a relationship long before she leaves. It could be weeks. Most of the time, it's months, if not years. And then she's already got somebody else set up to monkey branch off to. It's sad, but it is what it is. As she's describing, she deletes everything on her phones, all of it, even in the deleted items to cover up any trace of anything happening. But as she puts it, I wasn't planning on divorcing him. Well, not yet. That was coming. So she basically planned to keep her cake and eat it too in the meantime. Then she wonders why this blew up in her face. It's not just betrayal, it's the entitlement to think she could get away with it. And did I already say that the supposed best friend is a piece of shit? Well, I'll say it again. He's a piece of shit.
When he asked Guy to see his phone, he gave it to him so willingly. So I'm confident. I'm like, oh, he's not going to see anything. He would not have handed him the phone that quickly. So once again, I'm just laying on his bed. I thought it was weird. I mean, if it was me and I was in the situation that my husband was in, I would have been a little annoyed that he was laying on the bed. However, at that time, I mean, what's the worst that could happen, right? So anyways, my husband now has Guy's phone and he's looking through it. Sure enough, this guy had me in his phone as soon to be wife. That was my name in his phone. So my husband goes into soon to be wife because this guy didn't have a girlfriend. He didn't have like he didn't have anything that he had going on with another woman besides me, of course. So my husband did go into those text messages and he started reading.
Her name in the phone is soon to be wife. What the fuck? I mean, that's just sheer disrespect. Not only is her lover brazen enough to keep receipts, but he also straight up labeled her as his next conquest. And she thought this guy was a good option. Red flags don't come any brighter than this. Good God.
When he started reading the messages, there was a lot. I mean, he was talking about what we did in the room. He was talking about emotions. I was doing the same. You can see the look on my husband's face because, like I said, we were really having grown folks conversations, going into some deep stuff. In there, the part that I regret the most was not that we were talking about grown up stuff. It was not that we were talking about emotions. It wasn't that we were like, it wasn't what you would think it would be. The worst part was I was telling him the ways that I was planning to leave my husband. That's the part that broke my heart, I think, for my husband, because now he knows that I was planning to leave him for this guy. Now, to be honest with you guys, I really wasn't. I think that I was just playing the game and trying to make like this guy like me or fall in love with me. You play the game when you're talking to someone else. It's fun. Men do it. Women do it the same way, FYI. So the sad part was that my husband is reading these messages of me telling this guy how I am planning to leave him, kids and all.
So I think the friend kept everything, was a way, hopefully the husband was going to find out so their marriage would end and he can get this lady here, whatever the hell you want to call her. And he really thinks that would make a great wife. Like, you met through cheating. How is that going to make her a great wife? What makes you not think she's not going to cheat again on you with somebody else? As she puts it, the worst part was my husband reading about how I was planning to leave him. No, the worst part is your complete lack of self-awareness. You toyed with another man's emotions, disrespected your husband, and risked your kid's stability, all for a goddamn thrill. And now you're trying to play victim? Piss off.
My husband confirms with both Guy and I, and we admitted it. We told him everything right there. Like we said, yep, this is what it is. What you're reading is us. So every time that my husband and I would joke about like me cheating on him, he's like, girl, you'll be in a grave, you and whoever it is, and you're never going to leave me, blah, blah, blah. However, in this moment, he did not react that way. He did not. He reacted very calmly. Like I said, I can see that he was very hurt. Like I can see it. I know him. He's my husband. So but he acted very calmly and like very mature, very demure. I don't even know if I used that correctly, but anyways, he acted very calm and he just left. He left me there with the guy. Mind you, he's still in a towel. Left me there with him. and took the two kids. We only had AJ and Elia with us.
Her husband stayed calm and left with the kids. And that's not the reaction she was expecting. That man handled it like a boss. Can't say it enough. I will say, yeah, most of us, I guarantee, would be like, you know what, we'd be ripping them new asses, whatever else in the book, beat the shit out of the guy. But that's not the best reaction to have. The best reaction to have is the way this guy handled it. Stoic, quiet, John Wick it. Just quiet, boom, grab the kids, walk out, screw it. That is dignity, and something that she clearly doesn't recognize. And she's mad he didn't explode. His calmness is the sound of him detaching from your nonsense. He pretty much shut her down. Wall up, it's done, over. A man of true character knows when to walk away from a toxic situation. That's exactly what he did. He set a great example for those kids. I'm sure he probably wanted to kill them both, but he handled it right. Just walk away, because that was going to be far better for his kids and for him.
So I didn't stay there. When he did leave with the kids, I didn't stay there because now at this point I knew that he knows. So for some reason, like, I was sad. I was mad that he didn't get like, he didn't react like he always said he would. So I'm like, does he not love me anymore? And because I felt like that, I'm like, oh my God, I have to go chase him. Like, I have to figure out why the hell he didn't handle it. Like, he wasn't mad. I expected him to be mad. I think I would have been okay with the decision if he was mad, but he wasn't mad. He was just like, okay, whatever. And he left with my kids. And I really was just like, this is weird. I need to chase after him and see what's going on. So I ended up leaving the guy there and, getting the car and driving to my husband's mom's house, which is where I expected he would be. And she lived like on the top of a hill. And he went, when I pulled up, there was a U-Haul truck. So I didn't leave immediately. Let me put that. I waited a little bit. I probably waited like 20 minutes, maybe an hour, maybe two. But I waited a little bit of time. And then I ended up going, like I said, to his mom's house.
So she chased after him because he didn't react the way that she wanted. What, wanted him to blow up, yell, scream, fight? The caveat that she put, she didn't leave right away. 20 minutes, hour, 2 hours. Well, which one was it? I guarantee she stayed long enough to be stuffed like a Thanksgiving Day turkey. I mean, this here's a narcissist's cry. I don't even think I would use narcissist. I think she's more of a sociopath. She doesn't care about her husband or the kids. She's pissed off because her manipulation didn't work. She's not chasing him out of love. She's chasing him out of ego.
So when I get to his mom's house, like I said, there was a U-Haul truck there. And my heart dropped because I'm like, oh my gosh, immediately he is moving out, and already has his stuff in this U-Haul truck. Like, it's like it happened so fast. So I'm like, oh my gosh, he's leaving me for real. And I pull up to his mom's house, and he, like I said, he was so calm. The kids were inside with his mom, and he was taking his stuff. He didn't take everything from me. He just took what he thought was rightfully his, which was perfectly fine. We weren't like quarreler. We weren't gonna go crazy about whose is what and all of that. However, when I got there, he just walked away from me. I mean, like I said, he wasn't arguing. He wasn't being mean or anything. He just walked away. He didn't want anything to do with the whole situation anymore. I could tell. So, like I said, that broke my heart. And I tried to talk to his mom and see like where her mind was, where his mind was. And she was just like, I don't know what to tell you. He didn't tell me the full story. I just know that he asked me if he can come back, and he's here. So, I was taken aback. Like, you're really going to end our whole marriage just because of that?
You're really going to end our whole marriage just because of that? You fucking cheated. Here's the translation of her line is, you're going to leave me because I blew up our life, destroyed your trust, and humiliated you? How dare you? That's the translation to that fucking line. Lady, your actions have consequences. You don't get to play the victim in the mess you created. Anyways, guys, here's the harsh reality. Men, you need to protect yourself emotionally, legally, and mentally. Women like this don't accidentally cheat. They plan it, execute it, and then cry about the fallout like they're the victim. This guy saw the betrayal, handled it like a boss, and removed himself from the circus. I gotta give him a pat on the back for that. I mean, that's the move. Focus on your dignity and your kids. Forget chasing closure or trying to fix something with someone who treated your trust like a joke. This guy needs to build his life anew, stronger and smarter, and let their guilt be their burden. Ladies, this isn't a gender war, but if you think treating someone's heart as like a toy is empowerment, you're the problem. Play stupid games and you're going to win stupid damn prizes. Guys, always remember, know your worth, set your boundaries, and don't settle for less. Keep your standards as high as possible as your ambitions. Well, guys, that's the end of the video here today. If you like what you've seen, hit that like button, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff. There's more to this story here, and there's some other stuff that is coming out of it. I haven't watched all the clips yet, but there will be more future videos of this on how this story has played out. I just kind of need to go through and put it all together. But drop me a comment down below what you think, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.